Breaking today, she's done it again, with Prince Harry in deep doo-doo because of that disgusting interview with The Guardian, standing by all of his attacks on his family. Meghan Markle attempting to shift the narrative with two pathetic stunts. One, a digitally manipulated photograph celebrating her husband's birthday. The other, a PR stunt, probably a paid one, with Disney, because that's how far these two have now fallen. So this was the image we saw on Meghan's Instagram page yesterday, just as it all started to kick off about Harry's interview with The Guardian and the fact that he had, behind the UK government's back, gone to meet President Zelensky in Ukraine. "Oh, hi, birthday boy," she says, trying to continue this narrative that she really fancies her husband. "We really believe you, Meghan, even though he only mentioned you once in 3 days in Ukraine," to The Guardian interviewer. The Royal News Network posted on this: "The last 10 years have been rough on Harry. Marrying Meghan Markle does not appear to be good for the hairline or sanity, that's for sure. Ouch. It's pretty bad when your wife has to drag up a 10-year-old picture to find you looking good. Got to bruise the ego. Happy birthday, Harry, I guess." But our online sleuths have been looking into this picture, including Princess Carparkour, who says this is the original photo versus the edited and filtered photo Meghan Markle posted of Harry for his birthday. Interesting choice. Not sure why she tweaked it and messed with it. It didn't help. Perhaps the press needs to label it as digitally manipulated because it's sure as is. That is referring, of course, to the complete outrage that the mainstream media had, prompted by Meghan and Harry, when Catherine, suffering from cancer, secretly had apparently used a bit of Photoshop on her kids. Do you remember that? All hell ensued. Well, not over this picture. Meghan's mole made a good point. "Hey, Chris Ship, got anything to say about this manipulated photograph, or do you just pick on women with cancer?" Then we move to the Disney stunt. And this is really quite embarrassing.
As Harry's Guardian sit-down detonates, complete with "My conscience is clear," fresh digs at the family, and a Ukraine detour, Meghan fires off two shiny distractions. First, a birthday post for Harry using a throwback, heavily filtered shot. Online sleuths pointed out tweaks and touch-ups. They're calling it digitally manipulated, which is awkward given how the press once melted down over a lightly edited photo from Catherine. Where are the digitally altered labels now? The timing isn't subtle. As headlines roast Harry's remarks, Meghan serves a nostalgia glaze and a flirty caption to shift the feed.
5 years on from Megxit, Harry and Meghan are now subjected to being alongside other D-list celebrities on an American TV special to celebrate 70 years of Disneyland on a channel owned by Disney. As according to Taz says, now we know why Harry and Meghan took the kids to Disney. It was all part of a big freebie to use the children to advertise. Disney's about to celebrate 70 years and they appear in the documentary. Just when you think they can't sink any lower, how utterly repugnant. Now, of course, it's no coincidence the trailer was launched yesterday, just as Harry was in the firestorm over his disastrous Ukraine interview, which has scuppered his peace plans with his father, King Charles. Obviously, the trailer was leaked to People magazine, who could give it a very nice and cherry take. And at this point, we only saw two glimpses of the couple, two very short glimpses of the couple. Here is the first.
Space Mountain was one of my favorite things.
Still one of your favorite rides, by the way.
How much did you get paid to say that, Harry? And here they are, featuring alongside the boss of Disney in the trailer.
Wonder of all the magic.
They don't call it the happiest place on earth for no reason.
Prepare yourself.
We were just so
You're about
lucky.
to be blown away.
The surprises and secrets. The history and heart of Disneyland.
I can't even finish the sentence right now. I'm so excited.
Disneyland taught me how to dream.
The happiest story on earth. 70 years of Disneyland. Sunday, September 21st at...
That's right, Prince Harry, who remains in the line of succession, is now on sale. On sale for the highest bidder. But Tash really doesn't think he's looking good. actually, comparing that picture. In the trailer, she writes, "Yikes, he looks really sick and really old." Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you marry a succubus. It might start off fun, and maybe he misunderstood when she said, "I like to suck." What she actually meant was his soul. Now, Tom Bower, who is revealing that he is about to put the finishing touches on his follow-up to his first bombshell biography of Meghan, Revenge, has gone public to say, with this new Guardian interview, Harry has completely blown it when it comes to a return to the royals. Can you believe that more than half of you are watching this video but not subscribed? So please do me a huge favor, click the subscribe button now, turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to all of our brand new Outspoken videos.
Over the world has gone round saying Britain's a racist country and this country is, his family is racist and all the rest. So the fact that he actually comes to Britain on a very, very structured, well-organised tour, gives away £1.5 million to charities, money he hasn't really got, but he'll do anything to ingratiate himself, convinces the royal core of reporters that it's all reconciliation, convinces his father at the very last moment to meet him for reconciliation, promises that he'll be silent when he leaves, gets to Ukraine and immediately delivers this amazing self-justification of saying that his conscience is clear, that he's got no regrets, and that everything he said was just a matter of the truth, and it's about time his family buckled down and apologized to him. I mean, it is unbelievable.
Well, it is unbelievable, but Bowers still says Harry's trip, fake royal tour, has done huge damage to the royal family. Watch.
Could sum up Prince Harry in a single word, what would it be?
Dishonest. I mean, I am currently finishing a book about him, and what is remarkable is you've got to remember just 6 months ago when the whole St. Bailey crisis happened, this is his charity in Lesotho and Botswana, he was accused by the chairman of being a bully, a misogynist, of being dishonest and all the rest of it. And it did seem as if Harry's reputation had hit the dust. But he very cleverly has put all that behind him and suddenly appears, and because he hands out baubles to children and smiles and all the rest of it, everyone says, oh, it's the old Harry back. Well, it's not the old Harry back. It's a new Harry. It's the Harry that wants to have his cake and eat it. He wants to live in California and pop over here just to remind people how important he is, and at the same time, of course, undermine the royal family. And that really is. He and Meghan together have done more in the last 4 or 5 years to destroy the royal family than anyone over the past hundreds of years. And I fear that this trip has done huge damage to the royal family because in the end he'll get his vengeance, and it's very, very bad. This is the point. It's very, very bad for Prince William and Kate. You know, they are struggling to assert themselves. She's not well, the king's not well, the monarchy is not in its best shape ever, and here comes Harry just spewing out his bonhomie and his money, thinking he can buy himself a license to carry on as before. And I think he should have been told you can't do it.
Tom Bower has also revealed the real reason behind Harry's trip to Ukraine.
Hours later, a trailer pops for a Disney-owned TV special celebrating 70 years of Disneyland, featuring quick cameos from the Sussexes. People magazine gets the exclusive splash, the couple delivers bite-sized sound bites, Space Mountain was one of my favorites, and critics immediately cry paid promo. The chatter, did that highly photographed family trip double as content capture? Supporters will say it's harmless brand work. Skeptics see opportunism, especially from a duo that made privacy their banner. Either way, the optics are unmistakable, a glossy corporate tie in rolling out precisely as Harry's Guardian storm peaks.
Because of Meghan supported by Harry, it's done us huge damage, and that is irrecoverable. And they did it for money. They did it for themselves, self-promotion. And that is what I find so awful. And I'm telling you, the trip to Ukraine, it may seem to you to be all about the poor soldiers who are injured, but it really is all about Harry. Harry is desperately looking for a purpose. He is looking for a role. He gave up on this charity in Southern Africa, St. Bailey, because it was his money going into it. There wasn't enough money for him. Invictus is funded by governments. And what has been really important for him on this trip here, which no one has picked up yet, is that he needs the support of the British government the Invictus Games in 27 in Birmingham. And that'll cost a lot of money, but he needs that support. He needs his father there. He needs the establishment to support him. And if he doesn't get it, it'll look terrible. And that is what he's so desperate about, because there's a huge hole in his career.
Very interesting. He also says Harry remains the spare to Meghan Markle.
Because when he comes here, he becomes a focus of attention. But of course, he is spare to Meghan, or was, in her attempt to become sort of the great television housekeeper and homekeeper. But her series, her career is crashing. So very cleverly, Harry has separated himself from Meghan, as she did from him. But she needs him. And so you've got this couple now in Montecito desperately looking for a new purpose in life. Is Harry Meghan's spare, or is now Meghan Harry's spare? Who is the spare to the royal family? But that is the fact, that they're both of them looking for a purpose, and all they can do is damage the royal family by their activities.
Katie Hopkins agrees. Watch.
Prince Harry, he's on some sort of quasi-royal tour that no one asked him to go on. He just turns up in Ukraine for no reason whatsoever. I'm sorry, my little ginger friend. You had your chance and you muffed it. Best you go back home to that trailer trash that you chose to marry, my son. Be accountable for your poor decision-making. Right now you look like that guy that turns up at a wedding that no one knows who he is, and everyone's just really rather hoping that he'll leave soon.
Angela Levin is Prince Harry's biographer and our royal mastermind. Angela, look, we have a huge amount of breaking royal news to get through today. But can we just kick off with these two stunts overnight coming from Meghan Markle? And it always seems, Angela, anytime the shit is really hitting the fan for Harry, which it absolutely is in terms of this revolting interview with The Guardian, she needs these diversionary tactics. So first, there's this digitally manipulated image of Prince Harry from like 10 years ago, which she's meant to think, what, makes us think he's really sexy or something. And then this paid PR for Disney. What do you make of it all?
Well, what I make of it is that she wants to show something that will make us look and be surprised. You know, she would say, let me get something that nobody would recognize, so they'll all talk about it, and that means they'll all be talking about me. It's just like that. She wants attention, and if she just got a picture of him now to celebrate his birthday, then nobody would take any notice. But so she takes one with his hair all over the place, lots of hair, which he hasn't got now, and a very peculiar look on his face, and that's great because people are going to say, oh, what's that? Now, the thing she's doing for with the children is absolutely disgusting, because we've all been waiting to see these two tots, which is perfectly normal. However, she's made a huge fuss that nobody must see them. They've got to turn back. You know, you can see a back or you can see an arm, and you put that heart over their faces, which I think is appalling. I must say, what's that for, mummy? And they'll just go, well, you look lovely, dear, you know, horrid. And she just wants to show that they're going to send them, make money out of them. This is it. Now, this is too, she's looking there, they're looking at her talking. Now, she says you mustn't do that when you're small. You mustn't look at the television. You mustn't have those things. And there she does, taking a picture of it, so we can't see them, because we only see them from the back. She's just terrible. And they'll earn quite a lot of money about it, because they make a big thing about what's going on, you know.
Aren't they already being pimped out, Angela, via this new TV special for Disney? You know, we all thought, oh, how, yes. You know, well, actually, I didn't think this. A lot of people in the mainstream media thought, oh, how sweet, they're taking the kids to Disneyland, sharing the pictures. No, it was a paid PR stunt, Angela.
The Guardian embed paints Harry as defiant and undaunted, standing by his past claims about the royals and hinting urgency around his father, exactly the lines that enrage palace aides. The piece also notes a quiet detour in Kyiv amid diplomatic gossip that London preferred no Zelensky photo op that day. If accurate, that's freelance optics colliding with foreign policy. Translation: his PR team hoped for a low-drama reset week. The interview relit the bonfire. Cue Meghan's twin drops, soft-focus birthday thirst trap plus Disney sparkle, to yank the conversation away from Harry torpedoes the piece and toward, look, date night vibes and Disneyland magic.
Yes, it's in their paper about it, and saying, they're absolutely thrilled that Harry and Meghan are going to support something and tell us a lot of things about it, i.e. they've asked for an awful lot of money. When they do everything with the children, I don't know, but they're going to ruin all their clever thinking about what you do with a child who you don't want the whole world to see. But isn't it
also just so shocking, Angela, to think how far these two have fallen since Megxit? I know we always warned that this would be where they ended up, but remember, all of their narrative was about changing the world. Now it's like, oh, here's a few bucks, here's a free trip, and we need you to come on our show and big up what is a product. Disney is a product. It is a commercial organization. Angela, they had an opportunity to change the world. Now they're effectively hosting infomercials.
Yeah, well, if you want to change the world, you have to take one idea, don't you? You have to work very hard at it. You have to be sincere. It's not all about you. It's about something about the world. And she's not interested in that. She can't stay with anything very long, whether it's a husband, whether it's jam, whether it's marmalade, a dress. She can't do it. She's very sort of, moving around, not ever satisfied with anything. There she was, the previous husband. Some people say she's married someone else as well. But if you remember that she sent back his engagement and wedding ring in a brown envelope without actually saying anything. That's how she told him that they were going to end their marriage. So you get an idea of what that woman is like, the kindness, the thoughtfulness. It doesn't suit her to try and be like that. She wants to kill. And I think that's the whole way with what's going on in the royal family now as well. She can't stand that Catherine is so much more popular than her. She can't stand the fact that William takes no notice of her and hasn't done very much, because he could actually read that she was forever staring at him. And that's what the aim is. And I think that's one of the reasons why Harry went, because he wanted to show how wonderful he was compared to William, because he is quick, he makes jokes, everybody likes him. And unfortunately, some very good journalists have taken that as something is true, which is absolutely not.
Angela, they have been left eating their words, have they not, after the Guardian interview? I mean, as according to Taz posted on this, Meredith Maines, remember, she was the woman who is working for Prince Harry, was behind this peace summit with Buckingham Palace. Tash wrote, Meredith Maines is currently sobbing on her desk, and this time it's not because of Meghan. All that hard work, and Harry blows it up within a few days. And what's really interesting, Angela, is that Harry had promised King Charles that the details of their first meeting would remain private, because he is determined to rebuild their father and son relationship. This from a source close to the king. I know who it is, by the way, to the Daily Mail, so I know that this is a genuine source close to the king. And they said this is an important first step towards rebuilding their father and son relationship. He has told his father he won't be giving any interviews about it, and his team have been instructed not to brief journalists about what was said. There's a long way to go before Harry can earn his family's trust, but he's given some reassurances. Well, Angela, those reassurances were immediately blown out of the window, because in the Guardian interview, he actually went one step further and suggested that his father might die in the next 12 months, Angela. So the peace deal has immediately been smashed into smithereens.
Yes, he doesn't know what he's doing, does he? I mean, it's just awful. And then so the other things as well, that to say his conscience is clear.
Oh.
Now, maybe his conscience is clear, but he should actually think of everyone else whose conscience he's been stamping on. It's impossible that he can't actually understand that. What's about, who is it clear for? Him? We're not talking about him. We're talking about the king and his brother. But he's not interested in that. It's only about himself. I'm very happy with who I am. We don't care about who he is. At this moment, we want to know how happy you would like to make your father, how happy you would like William to be again. It's a very odd way to actually say these things, which means he doesn't know what he's talking about. Absolutely not a word.
But Angela, you say that you think, because I agree with you, by the way. In fact, can we just look at some of the video from him in Ukraine? Then I'm going to get to what you think is going on with Harry. But if you just look at this video of him that was released in Ukraine, and Angela, you think he's looking lost, he's having lots of mental health help, and he's very scared of Meghan. But watch this video, and then I'll get you to explain.
Editing an old photo reads like nostalgia, not strength. A corporate cameo reads like commerce, not changing the world. And when Diversion lands this on the nose, audiences clock the maneuver. Commentators, Tom Bauer among them, argue the Ukraine trip and interview undercut any path back to royal relevance. Others shrug that a theme park special is harmless content, but the bigger issue isn't one photo or one trailer. It's the pattern. Every time Harry reignites a firestorm, Meghan reaches for a glossy distraction. At some point, the brand needs substance and silence more than filters and promos.
No idea. When you're standing in front of you have no idea how.
It's bigger and bigger and bigger.
I don't know how to describe it. It's the most insanely sad yet beautiful thing. Because the way that it's been set out, the love and the attention and the care that's gone into every photo frame, every flag, every memento, it's extraordinary. I've never experienced anything like that.
So, Angela, you think he's lost and he's scared of Meghan, but he only mentioned her, Angela. I mean, remember, he spent something like 3 days with this journalist, Nick Hopkins from The Guardian. He only mentions Meghan once that whole time.
Yeah, because actually what he was doing is something that he really cares about, and he actually could put her out of his mind because it was very moving for him. And I'm sure it would remind him of things that he saw, people who were dying. He was terribly upset in a similar way when he was flying back to the UK, and he went into one part of the plane and he could see terrible wounds and people absolutely looking terrible. And that same face seems to have been then, and it is again now. He's scared of showing emotion because there's so much in there that's so difficult, which is why he has to get something and kick it and bang it and bash it, which he said for hours, to take lots of things out of him. I think he's in a terrible state where he says, I'm fine. He's not fine. He's very not fine. But the one thing I'd just like to say to you that he can't do is please the government. I mean, they won't have anything to do with him now because you must not. It's a constitutional monarchy. And they told him not to go to Ukraine. He absolutely took no notice. They asked him and tried to stop him. And he refused to listen. So he went there and he talked to Zelensky for an hour before he went back. Now, that was a marvellous way of saying, don't use me in any way within the royal family, because I won't listen to what you say, I won't listen to what the government say, I'm going to do what I want. He's finished. How will anybody take any listening to him like that? I mean, it's just appalling behaviour, but also ridiculous. If he wants to, as Tom Bauer said, earn money through that way, he's ruined it. He can't do that. They'd like someone like King Charles, who listens and does what he's told. But Harry's not. So why would you want to have him doing anything at all? Because you can't trust him. Not only can you not trust him to be proper with what he's told to do, but he also will leak things. So, forget it, mate.
Very good point. Angela, major day for the British royal family today, with the Duchess of Kent being laid to rest at a Catholic funeral, which is, of course, unusual for the royal family. This is the headline in the Mail. King Charles, Andrew, William and Kate lead mourners and pay an emotional tribute to the Duchess of Kent at her funeral after Queen Camilla pulled out with illness. Now, how worried should we be about the Queen, Angela? The palace is saying she is recovering from acute sinusitis. But of course, it is a very, very important week for Queen Camilla, with Donald Trump arriving in the United Kingdom tonight for his second state visit. And of course, Camilla is going to be a major part of that. So do you think this is a precaution, or is there something we should be more concerned about?
Well, it's very, very painful and you feel absolutely rotten. And it takes 10 days to 4 weeks to get over it a bit. So she's absolutely blocked here. We've had this before when she's got bronchitis and all this part of her body is vulnerable, possibly because she was a bit heavy smoker when she was young. And she obviously feels rotten. I mean, it is one of those things that you can feel rotten. And at her age, you have to be particularly careful. She works very hard and she's full of energy. But when she gets something like that, I think it's very sensible to explain that you can't go to a funeral, even though it's extremely important, and then try and see if she feels a bit better. I'm sure the doctors are giving her everything to clear her nose and as much as they can, but she won't be in top form at all. So I don't know how they're going to do it. I expect they're taking it step by step. And it is concerning, and I think it's concerning for both Charles and Camilla whenever they're not very well.
I know, and of course, she does have a huge week ahead. Angela,
Yes.
we're just looking at these pictures of the funeral and the arrivals. This will again get people talking. Angela, of course, it's a family funeral, and my view, of course, he should be there. But the fact that Andrew is there with Fergie will be a talking point at least.
Yes, I think it will be, but it is a family thing, and if he knew her, then I think he's got a right to go. This is nothing special, and I think that it's not fair to stop people going to the people that they got on very well with. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But she was so popular with everyone, really. She was a remarkable woman who managed to get out of working how the royals wanted by going and teaching children how to play the piano and other instruments. So she did it very delicately, and she also did work for the monarchy, but somehow she made it in a very kind, gentle way that didn't disturb anybody. And I think they respected that enormously, whereas Meghan has waited for nothing, screams and shouts, bangs around, can't wait. And so she's not popular and nobody cares really about her. She's lovely to watch because it's so funny and awful. But otherwise, she doesn't count.
And Angela, a very striking picture of the Duke of Kent paying tribute to his wife. He's 89 years old. This must have been an incredibly difficult day for him.
Very difficult. He looks very unhappy, doesn't he? He adored her. He tried to marry her when he was quite young, and his mother couldn't stand her because she didn't have royal blood. So he went on and on with her for 4 years until his mother gave in. And then poor Duchess of Kent, she had to deal with a very, very nasty mother-in-law who kept nagging her and saying she was never doing anything right. But he absolutely loved her, even though that she left, sometimes it weren't easy and she wasn't with him. Towards the end of her life, she went back to live with him and he was really pleased. So that, in a way, is a place where it was warm and loving and caring. But she had a tough life with an awful mother-in-law. Lots of people have that, don't they? But it's difficult. But I think it's very hard for the Duke of Kent to lose somebody he's been with for such a long time. She was 92 and very difficult, always.
Very sad day for the British royal family. Angela Levin, thank you so much.
Did Meghan's counter moves work? Or did they spotlight the crisis she's trying to bury? Did the Disney teaser and birthday post pull focus from Harry's interview? Or make the timing look worse? Drop your thoughts below. Tap like if you think the distract and dazzle playbook is past its sell-by date, and subscribe for straight-shot royal coverage without the spin.